Doink. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Polio Jr. And I'm going to try and make this a pretty brief video. But long story short, as the title suggests, this is the best. Let's try and get the glare off of it. The best video card I could find for my old Dell Optiplex. So, my Dell Optiplex was made quite a long time ago. So I think it's 2012, 2013, which is obviously uh, well below average for what a lot of people do today. So in here, if I can open this thing up, is my old video card. I just installed the new video card. So PCI Express, whatever it is, 16. And if you can see here, um, this was actually built for a small form factor computer. This was the old one, and this was whatchamacall. So we're gonna go down here and look. Let's see. Let's scroll down here. This was an old benchmark that I did. If you see right here, so it was NVIDIA GeForce GT 610. That's what this was. And what it actually did was since it was for a small form factor, I got a vice grip and just bent this part straight up, and so I was able to put it into the computer. But anyway, this guy had to go. This one was initially made in 2011, something like that. Um, 2 gig. It did have 2 GB of RAM, but that doesn't mean anything because it was a DDR3. And without getting too technical here, let's just look. Let's look at user benchmark, and then let's also look at a couple other things, just to show you the difference. So this is what we're looking at right now is basically a benchmark of where this GT610, my old video card, was at, and absolutely terrible is what they just called it, terrible. So I mean that's compared to basically some of the best video cards out there. So this compared to whatever couple $100 video card is out there today. And at the top it says gaming is a tree trunk. That's how bad it was. So now, and let's see here, 1.9 is, I'm in the out of 100%, I'm at 1.95%, and everything was extremely low. Um, so, and you can see like the frames per second that it would do and so forth, 2%, 2%, 5.13, 5.17. It did what I needed it to do for the time that I had it. And I needed an inexpensive video card to do what I need to do on the computer that I have. So, and the low profile one is the one to go for if you do have an older computer, because it's just that one slot. There isn't an extra slot that you need to put it in. I didn't have any room for an extra slot on the top to put it in or anything like that. So it's just one slot, still has a fan and all that good stuff. And so let's compare it from this one. Now this is user benchmark. So we're comparing user benchmark to user benchmark. So the first one, it was a tree trunk, and um, it was at 1.95% out of 100. This one, it became a surfboard. I'm still not anywhere near the top, and now this is comparing it to the top of the line. So, so now we go down to the one I have right now. So I went from, what was it, 1.95% for the bench to 19.4%, which is pretty awesome. And now, even though user benchmark says this is very poor, yes, it is very poor compared to the top of the line video cards. But for a video card, this is the exact one that I've got, and this should be very standard for every computer, every desktop computer, unless you have, this will fit into every desktop computer unless you have a small form factor computer, in which the metal part is basically just a lot higher. Like it would clip, but the metal part's just too high for it. So if you have a very slim computer, this will not fit into it. But any regular desktop computer, you're perfectly fine. And for, you know, 89 bucks, this is it's definitely a steal. So we went from the old one saying 5.13 frames per second and 5.17 to 53.2 frames per second to 47 frames per second. So the biggest difference was that the old one was a DDR3, which is a very old school video card, and this one was a GDDR5. So is what this one is. And this one actually does. I did a couple tests beforehand, and then the biggest test I did was being able to see if I could watch 4K videos. So I would just go into YouTube, find a 4K video, and on the old video card, I would try to watch it, and it was just so laggy and terrible and wouldn't do anything. For a regular, for just like an intermediate user, someone who doesn't do a lot, it's perfectly fine. But if I'm going to be doing screen recording and all that good stuff, I'm going to need something a little bit better. So this was it, the GeForce GT 1030, the low profile card. So even though it's still 2 gigabytes, essentially it's just going from DDR3 to GDDR5 is basically just getting something that's extremely new. So even though the actual gigabyte is the same, the actual bandwidth and the latency and the speed are all increased incredibly. So you don't always just look at, okay, this is a 2 gigabyte card, let me get that. Look at everything else as well. So I'm trying to save you that time if you do have a relatively older computer. And here's another comparison that I'm going to pull up in a second here. Let's see here. So this was before. In Windows, you can do what it's called the Windows Experience, and it lets you assess, relatively what your score is on very basic things. So the graphics and the gaming graphics were at 4.6, and then it was 6.2 for the gaming graphics, and that was with the old video card. Now with the new one, I'm at right here, as you can see, a 7.7 and a 7.7. So graphics are 7.7 and the game graphics are 7.7. So I mean, even once I refreshed that the Windows experience, it that went up, because the high score you can get is a 7.9, and on the Windows experience it came up with 7.7, which isn't bad at all. It's just that I'm not doing really heavy gaming, but if I want to do screen recording, being able to record myself on, while doing screen recording and so forth without having this huge lag, and this is actually a pretty decent webcam that records at 1080p. This is the way to go. The GeForce GT 1030 2 gigabyte low profile video card. So and it literally is, you don't have to do anything. It does come with the CD and so forth, but as soon as you plug it in, Windows will recognize it and install it, and there won't be anything else that you need to do. So going from a card that was made, like I said, in 2011 to going to a card that was made in 2017, and me waiting it out a little bit and waiting till the price went down, like you see here, it's like I said, about $89, is a big difference. So yeah, long story short, this one is way faster, supports 4K resolution, and yeah, is definitely not expensive at all. So if you're looking to put a little pep in your step for as far as graphics go and playing video games online on an older computer, the GeForce GT 1030 is the way to go. I will put a link in the description, and also if you do not have Amazon Prime, there's also a link in the description for a free 30-day trial. And with that, you do not need to, you can cancel it before the 30 days is up, and just that's it. So like you can order whatever you want within that 30 days and get it within 2 days, no matter what. And if you really like it, obviously continue with it. Continue with the with Prime. I definitely recommend Prime. But if you don't like it, you can cancel within that 30 days, and your card will not be charged. So that's just something that I have to offer to anybody that checks out my channel and my website and so forth. So, long story short, if you have an old computer, go for this guy right here, the Gigabyte GeForce GT 1030. So, and I will put an exact link for this exact card, and you will be on your way to experiencing, better graphics in basically everything you do. So, because you don't really know how much it really does affect your your computer usage every day and just what you're doing all the time. So, and it's pretty cool being able to watch the 4K videos, and then maybe from time for me, I'm like I said, I'm not a huge gamer, but at least being able to have the ability to step into that realm a little bit. So nothing like really high end, even though it does support 4K resolution. But I could still get away with playing a lot of like the really popular games today. So thank you guys for watching. Uh, I I strongly advise that you get this video card if you want to see an increase as far as your graphics are concerned. So I just wanted to show you some before and after stats as far as what the old video card did and what the new video card did. So, and what it does now, because that's what I'm using at the moment, and there's no lag whatsoever. So, which is really nice as I'm watching myself. It's in definitely real time, whereas before I could tell it was slightly off, and like I said, the 4K videos I could not watch at all previously. So, and yeah, that's it. Get this damn video card if you have an older computer. So, and you can always do a comparison online. It's very easy. So, but yeah, that's all I have. Thank you very much for watching, and check out the links in the description for the card and for the free 30-day Amazon Prime membership. So,